of have a free front line with his beetles. So what you saw me doing in that first battle is I tend to stand my ground and fight a lot more than somebody that's going for the Death Knight would. I lost a couple of fiends in both battles, but ultimately I ended up doing a whole lot more damage to his army. And really, that's that in a nutshell is kind of how the Crypt Lord works. So you want to micro your fiends somewhat and try and keep them out of trouble, but it's not with the Death Knight where you fire off a few shots and back off, fire a few shots and back off. If you get into that sort of fight with your opponent, they're actually just going to be able to pick off your beetles, sort of the same way that you would go against an orc that's using spirit wolves, and he can kind of abuse you that way to get experience. I went ahead and got a shade. You really should always go for shades in Undead Mirror, and you should also take into consideration whether or not your opponent is using shades, which I actually am not doing because there's one tailing me right now. Although to a large extent I don't care, because even if he knows where I am, he can't fight me. This game's actually pretty won at this point. If you look at, I've got 65 supply, he's got 40. There's just unless I, pretty much start killing my own units, it's about impossible for him to be able to beat me. He added a Dread Lord, which that's one thing I actually really like about the Crypt Lord, is he is not quite as susceptible to sleep as the Death Knight is. If you sleep a Death Knight, you can prevent him from casting Coil. Obviously I have a Death Knight in my army too, but with the Crypt Lord, you sleep him. It doesn't make that much big of a difference. You're taking his attack out of the battle, but his beetles are still there, and Impale is not something that you're really able to spam because of its mana cost. So, he doesn't. I feel like he doesn't suffer quite as badly as a Lich or a Death Knight from dealing with a Dreadlord with the sleep. So keep that in mind. It may be actually better to opt for a different third hero if you see your opponent mostly going for Crypt Lord. At this point, it's unfortunately an undead versus undead because of the undead towers being so strong and meat wagons being so weak. The end game tends to get dragged out a bit. I really can't go put the nails in his coffin yet without taking a little bit more risk than I want to. So I'm just going to go ahead and whore the rest of the creeps on this map. You'll notice I'm backing my Crypt Lord off. He's already level 5. Anytime you have heroes that are already level 5 and you're creeping, if you can afford to, you want to back that hero out away from the battle. That way they won't. Basically, if you don't do that, they effectively get some of the experience that your other heroes would get, but since they're level 5, they don't actually get experience from creeps, and it just ends up being a complete waste. So that's exactly why I'm backing him off. So I'm just trying to, get my Lich up to 3 and get whatever levels I can on my Death Knight. He's just going to stay at 4, which is fine. And after not too long, there should be kind of a final battle. Once again, if you look at the supplies, my opponent's at 53. This is already a one game on my part. I just want you guys to see kind of the sort of things that you want to do against, in an Undead Mirror game to put the nail in your opponent's coffin. You really don't want to try and go into his base prematurely. Don't let impatience get the better of you, because undead towers are really freaking powerful. He's making a futile attempt to harass me with Gargs. If he was going to try this, he really should have done it a lot earlier. I'm mostly just going to ignore him here. I don't really want to town portal, have him run away, and then come back and make me town portal again. So I'm really just going to keep on creeping until I've got the map cleared. I've also got Borrowed Beetle at his most likely point where he'd try to expand. Maybe second most likely. He'd probably try to expand in the south of the map. And I've also got a Shade watching for when his army actually comes to attack my base. I probably should be patrolling with that guy a little bit, because the only thing that this guy can really do is try to expand, but I can be pretty lazy about trying to find it. Before the end of it kind of happens, I'll give you a quick little recap. When you're going for the Crypt Lord, as a Crypt Lord fiend against an undead that's going for lich and ghouls, your primary priority is going to be creeping, and while you're creeping, pay very, very close attention to your position. Like, try and, if you don't either know or guess, if you don't know where your opponent's army is, at least kind of guess, and position your fiend so that if he comes and, like, creep jacks you, that his ghouls aren't going to be right on top of your fiends immediately. You do have to play extremely, extremely careful with your fiends when you're using Crypt Lord, because you don't have Death Coil to help keep them alive. So keep that in mind, and I think you'll be very successful using the Crypt Lord. Another thing that you want to do when you have the Crypt Lord is, once you get level 3 and Burrow, you want to start pushing your opponent. This is going to force him to buy Dust of Appearance, which will take up an equipment slot on his Lich if he tries to go for a solo Lich. And in general, it's just going to keep him in his base, where he'll be stuck there, and he won't be able to harass you nearly as easily. Also, I wanted to mention, just in general, for the Undead Mirror, just don't be afraid to try stuff. There's really a whole lot of possibilities, thanks to the fact that, for once, the Death Knight is not the only way to go. So try different heroes like the Crypt Lord or the Pit Lord or things like that, and also, try things like if you think you can make a good guess as to where your opponent's ghouls are multitask creeping, go try and jack them. Find interesting times to harass them. I mean, know about the thing about, like, whenever they're halfway through their tech, you want to hit their acolytes at that point if you're going ghouls, but otherwise just kind of experiment and try to enjoy it. I remember there was one time that I was playing a game with Pantera, and he actually used that timing to hit my acolytes with, like, a Death Knight Fiend harass about a third of the way through my tier 2 tech. Really screwed me over, and I totally didn't expect it, because Fiend users don't usually go for acolyte harasses, but hell, try stuff. I'll be the first to admit this is not the most exciting game, and I really just needed to do one that was pretty quick and easy. Basically, I've been kind of busy with my band lately, and I just wanted to get an audio commentary out because I've been silent for too long, so I wanted to at least give you guys something to listen to. So, hope you enjoyed it anyway. I got a few shout-outs. Let's see. The next game I want to be doing is going to be, some of you guys may have seen it, but there's a T-Rider versus Canuck game that has a pretty interesting strategy. I think it was on the front page like a day or two ago. Here's the shout-outs I got. I have from Mong, he posted in my profile thread, you have a very, very cute dog, sir. Thank you for making my thread cuter. I also have a shout out to Fatal for providing me with the Icelandic hero names. I've been kind of collecting lists of hero names from the different language versions of Warcraft 3 in my thread, and I appreciate everybody that has contributed to that. And also got a shout out to Acclimator for posting in my profile thread, just saying hi. I really appreciate the comments I get from you guys. That's really all I have. I think I'm going to put some overclocked remixes in for the music. So if you haven't checked out www.ocremix.org, it is an awesome site with, like, some incredibly talented musicians. I actually managed to get one remix posted on there, whoop-de-doo, but there's a whole lot of talent and a whole lot of good music that you can download for free. Specifically, the intro music was Earthbound, Dreaming on Distant Shores by Relic, and the closing song is Elysia Dragoon. The game is called Elysia Dragoon. I've actually never played it, and the remix title is Halls of Abandonment, and it's done by Last Unicorn. And I will see you guys next time, hopefully with an Undead vs. Night Elf commentary. Bye-bye.